So we didn't fix the problem with her and Kalani. I hope this time when we say goodbye to them, it's gonna be like.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Aselu and Kalani. It's gonna get mad. It's gonna get mad. Does it have to get violent? Because it might do. Alright guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, well, you already know what the motto. You already know what the motto is. You understand? You got the minerals, you got the minerals. Hey, don't forget to get your merchandise as well. Send them back to the manufacturer. You already know what it is, baby. Alright, cool. So, talking about Aselu and Kalani, I think it's quite interesting again. Watching these two, and the reason why I think it's really interesting, I think because they've been arguing for a little while now, past few weeks, and I think I can see both sides of the tale. You've got one side, Kalani, who wants Aselu to step up, stand strong, even talk for her and them against obviously his mother and sister who are insisting on financial aid from them, even if it costs them. But it's all about making sure that, family is there. I need to make sure my family's good. I want to make sure my family's alright. I want to make sure that I keep my family in check. And I want to keep a family together. And I get that, right? And this is where relationships come at a distinctive cost. Because if some of your family members are moving mad, you create a distinctive distance between the family and your family. You see, the Bible talks about how that one man, one wife, this is his first ministry. Why do I say it's his first ministry? Because the Bible says, how could you look after the church if you can't look after your home? Which means your home is first ministry before you get to the church, which means your family immediately comes first. The Bible says that a husband cleaves to his wife. You understand? He leaves his mother and his father to cleave to his wife. Understanding that there's a shift and dynamic and change. Okay? And so for Aselu and Kalani, what we're seeing is a disparity in the way they handle certain things.
She's gonna hug me. I don't want to hug her.
But I still love her. I want to give her some space so she can think about.
And I think for me, watching Aselu, I get his understanding that when Kalani goes into this mood where she begins to, let's say, if it comes down to it, I'm ready to get into a scrap, I'm ready to get into a fight, you're already eliciting language which is going to be violent. And as much as obviously I agree that obviously his sister was out of order, especially for trying to almost get into an altercation with Kalani, your wife, and ultimately you should have really checked her at that point and made sure Tammy could never do that again. The key thing is that your wife is you two have become one, but she must have a level of respect if you have a level of respect for your family. Do you get what I'm saying here?
So we didn't fix the problem with her and Kalani. I hope this time when we say goodbye to them, it's gonna be like.
If you have a level of respect for your family, you're gonna expect the partner you're with to meet that standard. Because that will hurt you when you see them doing what they're doing to your family and they're not meeting the standards and expectation. So, for instance, when they're in the car and he's driving, and then she talks about how it could get, I pray it doesn't get physical, because I'm ready to do what I need to do. You're already heading your energy in a certain way. You're hedging your bets on energy in a certain arena, okay? And so for Aselu, when he hears that, he's not hearing that you want to try and make yourself, make you and your family get along. What he's hearing is you're itching for a fight. You know what I'm saying? What he's hearing is you're not going to do everything you need to do to avoid the fight.
So she can think about what the things happen. So
You're just wanting everything to go good.
And to him, family is important. His immediate family is important to him, just as your immediate family is, Kalani. All right, and so that was one thing that I kind of picked up from them. And then later on when they do get to meet the mom and they're in the hotel, the mother actually apologized. And what I really appreciate is the fact that she sussed that obviously she had made a mistake. She doesn't want to be in that place where she's aside from her son. So she's deeped it, she's reckoned it, she's got with it. Unfortunately, Tammy couldn't stay in there. And the reason why Tammy couldn't stay in there is because Tammy knows that she'll get into a fight.
drop down. But please just forgive Tammy.
Where is Timmy?
Left this morning.
But the question is she getting into a fight because she believes in what she's fighting for? Or is she getting into a fight because she feels like Kalani may be controlling her brother and there's nothing that she can do about it? She feels powerless to do something about it. And another means, and what she tries to do is go down to violence. Okay? And that's what I'm kind of getting a gist of. Because, you know, the other sister was there and she was sign language in a way and being happy and being friendly. And so was the mother. But Tammy couldn't be there. And so that Tammy taking on that wrestler narrative where she wants to fight on behalf of the family, that's something we need to explore as well in terms of why she is the way she is. Why she's so protective in that manner that she would get so angry to do what she did. Because even with Kalani's situation when it first broke off, Kalani didn't do anything of the sort to cause you to go into a frenzy to fight. Yes, she denied you. Yes, she may have been a little bit stern, a little bit more ruder in her tone, but nothing there was enough for you to latch on to turn it into a fight. That may be a Tammy issue rather than a Kalani issue. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then obviously when the mother makes a joke, I'm not going to lie to you, I was like, excuse me? I need a bit of money. I was like, excuse me?
Just kidding.
Mom, you give me a heart attack. I will not say it.
What? Sit your ass down, sis. But then she said it was a joke. And, you know, as well as said, I almost had a heart attack. And that should let you know just how serious the issue is when it comes to finances to Aselu and to them and to Kalani. Because if the brother said was like several times, Mom, don't play that kind of joke. I almost had a heart attack, almost had a heart attack, almost had a heart attack, almost had a heart attack. There was a level of truth in it. And I remember I told you about jokes. Jokes also have a level of truth in it that was heavy-handed, that made him feel like, oh my God, this could be really real, right? Because any joke has to have a little bit of truth in it to make it funny and to make it realistic. And so for him, he was stressing out. He was fully stressing out, and I get it because I thought we went past it. But thank goodness it was just a hoax. She made a great joke, you know what I'm saying? And she showed off some classiness as a woman, as a mum, you know. She redeemed herself by, you know, as well, especially by the way she was saying, you know, look after my son, do you know what I mean? Make sure you guys look after each other, do you know what I'm saying? Look after the kid.
Kalani take care of the kids, okay? And Kalani, that's my son.
Etc. Originally it was F them kids, but now it's like look after the kids, make sure they're okay, blah 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 blah, right? And so that's much appreciated. And so when they leave, you get left with Kalani and Aselu. And I think, obviously, I know Kalani's frustration. Yeah, you are dating this young ass guy, and he's not seemingly responsible as you want him to be. He's not on top of his game like he's supposed to be. He's not leading you the way that you want to be led at the moment. And so it's causing you issues, it's causing you pain, it's causing you frustration. And I get that. I get the frustration behind what you're feeling. And so, you know, she even, I will do this later on, where she talks like she wants to even lead the relationship. But what was interesting for me is Kalani's need to control. I think she's sussed. I think she's well and truly sussed that obviously Aselu is under her thumb. Aselu is willing to do whatever it needs to take to be with her. And I think she sometimes utilizes that. For instance, the whole doing the therapy in a restaurant, you got to consult me first. You got to let me know. I may not be comfortable doing the homework that we need to do for our therapy in the dining area. Like, I know the kids aren't there, but I want to chill tonight. I want to enjoy your presence tonight. I want to eat good food, I want to drink good drink, and I want to be able to chill with my babes. I don't want to be doing a therapy session there and then, do you know what I'm saying? Unless I've agreed to it prior to you springing it on me. But the moment you sprang it on me, you gave me no choice, and that meant I had no power to choose, and therefore you were in control. Because you chose the time, the place, and everything else, right? So it may seem like, oh, you know, she was just trying to be, trying to lead and trying to get into a certain place. Yeah, but another flip side of the coin is that she was doing that to control the narrative and to get into a certain place. Now, I get it. She said without the therapy, they're not going to go nowhere. And she's right. They ain't. But to force it on the brother, and you know what? I think it's because he doesn't communicate in English as his native tongue. So he's not well endowed in that area yet. So there's sometimes a misgiving. And I'm sometimes taken advantage, I guess, sometimes by Kalani towards
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We're going to do our therapist homework.
Homework it means to home, not in the cocktail place.
You know, and not only that, and the reason why she's able to have this control is because Aselu really doesn't want his relationship to end, right? He said it himself, you know, he's fixed up because he's scared to lose her, right? And you know, that is an okay I say okay motivation, right? You fix up because you're scared of the fact she'll leave you. But how about fixing up because you believe it's the right motive to do? How about fixing up because you believe it's the right thing to do? How about fixing up because you know that, listen, this will make me a better man, right? This will help my relationship. But if you're just doing it because you fear Kalani, I'm telling you now, listen, the relationship won't last long because it's only so long you'll fear this woman. So when you get comfortable and she gets comfortable with you, you're going to realize she can't do me nothing, fam. Who is she to tell me what I want, fam? She can't have me, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? It will get to that point. So it's important to understand as well, that, fear can't be the motivating factor as to why you're in this relationship. The Bible says that perfect love overcomes any fear. Perfect love. Fear can't exist in perfect love. Do you understand? In the perfect love. And so they did the whole thing where they did the whole therapy session or therapy homework about chores and who's going to look after the baby. And I really think that obviously, and I hear Kalani, it is a tiring work being a mother, a full-time mother around the clock. You do need help, you do need rest, you do need to let other people get involved who are trustworthy. And so I understand why she would want to make sure that, and I can understand why she'd want to make sure that it's shared evenly, because in a society where oftentimes we try to take a very hard line on traditional roles, the truth of the matter is a child needs both parents to be around. It doesn't need a parent alone earning bread. They need they need both family members to be participants in rearing this child. You hear the term, obviously, a village raises a child. Well, here it goes. The parents are that village. Both parents equal that village to be able to train and grow up and rear a son or their daughters appropriately. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's one of the most keyest things as well. One of the keyest things as well. And then obviously later on we get to hear the scene where Aselu has been lying. And I think the reason why people lie in relationships is because they fear what the response will be.
And playing volleyball and going to the stores and lying about where he is and doesn't see how dangerous that is and how he's putting everybody in the house in danger and he doesn't care.
And sometimes in order to get away with something, we lie so we can do what we want to do, right? Because it's about what we want to do. And I think Aselu was lying because he didn't want to have this argument, because he wanted to do what he wanted to do. And that's the problem. Relationships can't be selfish. They are selfless. And in your selfishness, you're still selfless. You know what I mean? That's the mindset and the process you should be having it in your mindset. So the fact that it was COVID, it was quarantine, I totally understand why Kalani's pissed that, Mr. Adventurer goes out to play volleyball while she's left with the kids during quarantine. And then when she asks him, he lies. Here's my thing though. And I said about control earlier on. You put a GPS tracker in his phone but didn't ask him. Does that make sense? You put a GPS tracker in his phone but didn't ask him because he wasn't aware of it.
And I had a tracker on his phone. I said, "Oh, where'd you go?" And he's like, "Oh, I just went driving." I was like, "Oh, did you?"
Yes. And so now, therefore, you're implicated, or you're in a situation, and at the end of the day, nobody would have said anything. That's not that. But the truth is obviously having a GPS tracker just means now you are no longer really trusting in what they say. You know what I'm saying? And it's, I don't know. I feel like it's a measure of control to have a GPS tracker on someone's phone and not know that they had it. And even if it was just like, let's say, find my iPhone, right? It is still a breach of privacy to use that against your husband. Do you know what I'm saying? But if you had your doubts and suspicion that you were doing something really, really mad, I get it also too why you do it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I get all the plausibilities there, but for me, it is an element of control that goes beyond Call of Duty when you put a GPS tracker in someone's phone and not tell them, okay? Not tell them. It's not the way to go. It's not the way to go. It's untrustworthy behavior. And then she goes on to say that love seemingly isn't enough. And I want to say this, listen, love isn't enough, okay? But love is enough. Okay, so when we say love isn't enough, we mean there are other aspects of this love. There is eros, there is ludos, there is storage, there's philo. You know what I'm saying? There is a whole bunch of different loves out there, okay, that are split into different quadrants, or I should say different sections, okay? And they all piece together to make this final totality of what love is to your partner, okay? That's why we say making love, right? It doesn't mean that you're actually making love, but actually it's the act of sex that is we would call it a sexual or a physical love for somebody. You understand? You know, a relationship also needs the finances to be on point. It needs the mentality to be on point. It needs general emotions to be on point. It requires all maintenance on all different areas because they're all important to building up you know, a relationship in the way that it should be dealt with. I think with Aselu and Kalani, I think the really biggest beef with them two is that they didn't see eye to eye on the family, and then she felt like she wasn't being supported. And I think that that's encapsulated by the fact that when they do the chores therapy, he's not even talking about what chores he's only talking about the chores that he must do, the hoovering, the cleaning, the dishes. That's what he's doing. But he again forgets that, listen, you have 2 children and they need the support of yourself as well. It's not to be left to their own devices. It's not to be left to their own imagination. But there has to be an input from, you know, the other side. So, I don't know. I mean, for me, I would say, listen, Kalani's probably making the right choice to kind of leave things as it is. I just don't like the way she does things. There's an energy that she puts out there that concerns me. But yeah. Guys, I'm not going to say too much. What do you think about the Kalani and Aselu situation? Comment down below. Let us know your thoughts as well. Okay? Okay.